In ancient Peru, archaeologists uncovered a cemetery filled with skulls that looked almost impossible. Some were stretched dramatically upward, others were long and narrow. A few appeared so unusual that early researchers wondered if they belonged to a different kind of human. Perhaps a disease, perhaps a genetic mutation, perhaps something stranger. But the truth was far more unsettling. These skulls had been created deliberately, not by rulers, not by enemies, not by priests, but by parents. Parents who carefully wrapped their babies' heads with cloth and wooden boards. Parents who watched the shape of the skull slowly change over months and years. Parents who believed they were making their children more beautiful, more respected, more desirable. Why? Why would loving parents permanently alter the shape of a child's head? To answer that question, we must travel into one of humanity's oldest and strangest habits, the habit of taking invisible ideas and carving them into the body itself. Welcome to the strange root. Behind every beauty standard, every status symbol, and every attempt to reshape the human body lies a deeper story about how culture transforms flesh into meaning. Today, we uncover the strange root of skull binding. For thousands of years, cultures across the world practiced some form of artificial cranial deformation. The practice appeared in ancient Peru, among the Maya of Mesoamerica, across parts of Central Asia, among the Huns, in regions of Africa, and in several Pacific societies. The methods varied. Some used cloth wrappings, others used wooden boards. The process usually began shortly after birth, when the skull was still soft and flexible. Gradual pressure altered its growth. Years later, the new shape became permanent. To modernize, the result can appear startling. Yet to the people creating these skulls, they were often considered attractive, elegant, prestigious, even noble. That is where the mystery truly begins. The most revealing question is not why people changed skulls, it is why they wanted them changed in the first place. Why did these heads not appear strange to the people creating them? Because beauty is rarely as natural as we imagine. Most people assume beauty is obvious, universal, self-evident. History suggests otherwise. Across cultures, standards of beauty have shifted dramatically. What one society celebrates, another rejects. What one generation finds elegant, another finds bizarre. The elongated skull was not an exception to beauty standards. It was the beauty standard. People did not see deformation. They saw refinement. They saw distinction. They saw the physical shape of an ideal. To understand skull binding, we must understand something about parents. Throughout history, parents have worried about the same things. Will my child be accepted? Will they find opportunities? Will they belong? Will they have a better life than I did? The parents who practiced skull binding were often asking similar questions. The altered head became an investment in the future, a visible marker associated with prestige, identity, or social advantage. To them, the practice was not necessarily cruelty. It was care, ambition, hope. And that may be the most uncomfortable part of the story. The same instinct that drives parents to help their children can sometimes drive them toward extraordinary measures. Humans are unusual creatures. Most animals inherit bodies. Humans inherit bodies and then immediately begin changing them. We tattoo them, pierce them, decorate them, stretch them, reshape them. Again and again, cultures take something biological and transform it into something social. The body becomes a message, a statement, a symbol, a way of communicating ideas that cannot otherwise be seen. The skull was simply one canvas among many. An altered skull communicated information, not through words, but through appearance. It could signal ancestry, status, group membership, cultural identity, sometimes even spiritual significance. In a world without passports, social media profiles, or government identification cards, the body itself often became a form of communication. A person could be recognized before they ever spoke. Their appearance announced something about who they were and where they belonged. The skull became a kind of social language, a visible expression of invisible ideas. What makes skull binding so revealing is not the physical process itself. It is the willingness to permanently alter a child's body in service of a cultural ideal. Because once an idea becomes important enough, humans often become remarkably flexible about the body. Again and again throughout history, societies have reshaped bodies to reflect values. Different eras choose different methods. Different cultures choose different symbols. Yet the pattern remains surprisingly familiar. People adapt themselves to fit an ideal. And eventually, the ideal begins to feel natural, even inevitable. It would be comforting to believe this tendency disappeared long ago, but it has not. The methods changed, the impulse survived. Today, people alter their appearance through cosmetic procedures, orthodontics, body modification, aesthetic treatments. Emerging technologies promise even greater control over physical traits in the future. The motivations are often complex. Beauty, confidence, acceptance, opportunity. Different tools, different standards. The same underlying desire to align the body with a cultural vision of success. At first glance, skull binding appears to be a story about bones. Look closer. It is really a story about imagination. Humans possess a remarkable ability to project ideas onto the physical world. A scar becomes courage, a crown becomes authority, a uniform becomes power, a ring becomes commitment. The object matters less than the meaning attached to it. Skull binding reveals this process in unusually clear form. Parents were not simply reshaping heads. They were trying to make an idea visible, to transform an abstract ideal into something physical, something permanent, something everyone could see. Perhaps that is why this practice feels so strange today, not because it is completely different from us, but because it is uncomfortably familiar. Across history, humans have repeatedly taken invisible cultural values and written them onto the body, sometimes with paint, sometimes with jewelry, sometimes with surgery, sometimes with cloth and wooden boards. The elongated skull was never the true goal. The idea behind it was the desire to belong, to be admired, to signal identity, to secure a better future. The skull was shaped by cloth and boards. The desire behind it was shaped by culture. Because humans do not merely inherit bodies, we inherit ideas about what bodies should become. And that is the strange root of skull binding. If this exploration into one of humanity's strangest beauty standards made you see identity, culture, and the body differently, subscribe to The Strange Root and join us as we continue uncovering the hidden forces shaping human behavior. Until next time, take care and stay curious.